Death Note on Netflix. Insightful adaptation or whitewash trash? Let's have a chat. So, Death Note on Netflix. Have I been looking forward to it? Kind of yes, kind of no. Now, as you can tell, I got a special edition of all three original movies. So I am quite a fan of Death Note. Watched them first time quite a while ago, so you know I am a fan of the series. Now, when they said they were making really an Americanized one, I thought could be interesting, could be rubbish. Let's be honest, there's not a great track record of a lot of adaptations into American movies. One example that actually worked, to be honest, was The Grudge, the one with Sarah Michelle Gellar. I actually liked that version of the movie possibly more than the Japanese one. It was quite an interesting, it felt more of a follow-up than a sort of retelling of the movie, which I think was quite good. Now, Death Note. Now, as I said, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. And to be honest, it was the worst. Now, the storyline is loosely based on the original work. The characters are loosely based on the original. Some of the characters, there's a lot of extra characters, and there's a love story, which really I don't think was needed, but it seems they think American audiences want. Now, Light Turner, obviously different last name, is the main character, who, to be honest, is a bit of a wet character. He gets beaten up a lot, bullied in school, and he finds the Death Note, and Ryuk then tells him how to use it, and he starts off straight away with decapitating somebody, which seems a bit much, to be honest, and it just escalates from there, and he suddenly goes on like a worldwide killing spree of killing like criminals and stuff. And the girl he likes, he tells all about the Death Note, and they both do it together and create this character, Kira, same name they used in the original one, that they actually go around and killing criminals all over the earth, all over the world, and reducing crime rates. It all escalates incredibly quickly. Now, one of the biggest problems with the movie is not exactly long. It's 1 hour 41 minutes, which, you know, could be okay, but when they're trying to cram in a love story and all the other stuff as well, no, it's not really good. It just escalates far too quickly, and there doesn't seem to be any real motivation of why they're doing it other than they find it fun. His dad's obviously a cop that gets, you know, pulled in to help solve the case, which makes no sense because he's a bit of a joke cop, to be honest. And then L turns up and automatically talks to his father. It's like he's doing things, but there's no explanation for why L is coming to these conclusions. They kind of try and explain it later, but it just seems all a bit rushed. And the L character isn't great, to be honest. He seems far too emotional and angry most of the time. The original L was a really interesting character because he was a little bit off the wall, kind of a Sherlock Holmes, you know, high functioning sociopath type of character who had obsession with sweets. He'd eat sweet things and he wouldn't talk very much. He generally doesn't go outside much. Very awkward looking. When he walks around, he's kind of like, you know, looks like a humpback type of thing. He slumps his shoulders and sort of walks awkwardly, and he doesn't seem to interact well with other people. And it was an interesting character. There were kind of a lot of depth to him, but the new one, he's just some guy that they get in to solve crimes, and he annoys people and then gets really angry about it, and he confronts Light on, and it just seems really rushed. Light doesn't seem to be half as intelligent as the Japanese version. You know, he's got a plan of what he's trying to do, and you know, he decides on things much better, and it makes sense the way, you know, progress is to, you know, killing criminals all over the place and creating this Kira persona, and then how he tries to, you know, get the cops away from investigating him. There's quite some interesting things that happen, so that's quite good. So L, he just makes lots of, he comes to conclusions and they don't make any sense of why. It's just like, oh yeah, there's a conclusion, instead of like in the original he tests some theories out to see how Light is picking his victims that he needs a face and a name and so on. in the Japanese version, he actually tests some of his theories to try and prove it or not. And in the American one, he doesn't. It's just because it makes no sense. So, for instance, Light's dad was obviously the cop, and for some reason still in charge of the task force for capturing Kira, although he's an international criminal, and this guy's just like a small town cop. Makes no sense. But he goes to a press conference and says, I'm going to get you, you're rubbish, blah blah blah, and badmouths Kira. So Light doesn't kill him. So L automatically assumes, oh, he's not going to kill his dad, so it must be him. Well, maybe he just didn't want to kill a cop, because traditionally he's killing like criminals. Anyway, Ryuk is an interesting choice. Willem Dafoe. I can't be bothered to talk about the other actors because I don't really know any of them from anything. And the director Adam Wingard, I've not really seen much he's done. He's done a Blair Witch film, he's done VHS kind of horrors. I think he's doing Kong vs Godzilla, which I'm really not going to be impressed by the sounds of it, if this is anything to go by. Well, as I was saying, Willem Dafoe, quite an interesting choice for Ryuk. Ryuk is quite a good character. I liked him in the original. He's kind of sarcastic. He has a lot of wit about him, and he's an interesting character, how he tries to manipulate the situation with Light. In this version, he's got a bit of a creepy voice. Being Willem Dafoe, he kind of appears in the background, and he actually goes off and kills people independently as well, which I don't really like that aspect of the character in this. It was quite interesting in the original that he is one of the gods of death, because obviously there's a few of them and several death notes. And when you write somebody's name, they get killed in whatever way you write down, or they just die of a heart attack after a certain amount of time. Yeah, that makes sense, and you can put all this elaborate stuff on how they die and that sort of thing, but the way they use it in this movie, you can actually control somebody for 2 days and make them do whatever you want. And then if you burn the page, they won't die, but you can only do it once while you've got the button. It's just, everything just feels rushed and really not well thought out. It's not a very good plot. It's not very good characters. It's a mere shadow of the original. Some people may enjoy it. I don't expect you will. If you like the original, if you've never seen the original, you'll probably find it a little bit confused. I watched it with somebody that hasn't seen Deathnote before and was really looking forward to this, and a big fan of horror movies, but yeah, it just seems rushed. It's confusing in places. It doesn't explain what's going on, and it just assumes things throughout the whole movie. Not only assumes things of the audience will understand and know straight away, but the characters assume things of each other as well, with no real reason why. They're supposed to have a little bit of a twist ending, but you just think, no, that's stupid. And some people get killed that don't in the original, and said the whole love story with the girlfriend that, he shows the book to, oh, look how cool this is, look, I can kill people. And like, really? You're supposed to kind of keep it a secret, and then you just go and show this girl just because you like it? It's just, no. I would advise not watching it, to be honest. If you're a big fan of Deathnote, watch it. Don't expect much from it at all. Expect to then go back and watch the original one, because it's much, much better. That IMDb have given it about 4.7 out of 10, which is possibly a little bit generous, to be honest. I'm very, very disappointed. Said it felt rushed. It felt like there's no character development. It just assumes you know what's going on with the Deathnote, and they try and add a few things to it, which really does not add to the story, doesn't add to the mythology. It was using the name Deathnote to try and make people watch something that really wasn't up to being called Deathnote, to be perfectly honest. Very disappointed with Netflix. Everything else I've watched from Netflix, the TV shows, all the Marvel ones, great. Stranger Things, big fan of everything else Netflix has done. This is the first one I've been truly, truly disappointed. It made me think, if this is what they're going to be producing, then maybe I don't want to be using Netflix, to be honest. I will still use Netflix at the moment because of all the Marvel programs and Stranger Things coming soon, but I'm not going to watch many movies if of this quality, because the quality wasn't there. But anyway, that's enough. I said, no, disappointing, whitewashed, pointless American drivel, to be honest. It was made for an audience that I don't think will like it or understand it, and they're just better off watching the original. So yeah, go and watch the proper one. Bypass this if you've never seen Deathnote before. Get the original one. Much better in every single way. Well, hopefully you won't be disappointed if you're hoping it's going to be good, because it's not. So have a look at some of my other reviews if you've not been here before. Please subscribe. Thanks for commenting and liking as well, would be great. That if you enjoyed the movie, if you're a fan of the originals, comment. We can have a bit of discussion about it. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong? Did you enjoy the movie? Did you think it made sense? Did it not feel rushed to you? Let me know, and subscribe would be great as well. There'll be all links down the bottom, and have a look at some of my other reviews. Thanks a lot. See you again soon. Bye bye.